Hello, today we have a new video of micro supplies. Normally we do this in Dutch, but today we're gonna do it in English so more people can learn. And we got some requests if we can do it in English. So that's why I'm talking English. It's maybe not so good, I will do my best. Today we got an iPad Pro 12.9 6th gen. The customer replaced the screen. Now when they use the Apple Pencil, the lines that they're making, they aren't straight. That's because there's an IC on the original screen that's paired to the motherboard. So we need to transplant the IC to the new screen. I will show you the problem. If we make a line, you see it isn't straight. They're all wobbly. And this is because the iPad doesn't see the original screen IC. So I will pull off the original screen. We're gonna transplant the IC on the new screen. The screen is disassembled. Now we're gonna take a look of the serialized IC. So here is the IC that's serialized to the motherboard. As far as my research goes, this is the only IC that needs to be transplanted, but my colleague said this one also needs to be transplanted. So first one, we will do this one. If it's working, we can leave this one. If not, we transplant also this IC. It looks like APROM, so I think he's right that this one also needs to be transplanted. To disassemble the IC, we use 380 degrees and 80 airflow. We will add a little bit of flux. As always, when you're soldering, you want to use flux. So this is the original IC. And now for the new screen, there's still a metal plate over the ICs. Normally we disassemble on the metal plates with heat at 500 degrees, but because this is a screen, it's pretty risky. So we will just use tweezers or scissors. First we're gonna disassemble this flex. A little bit of alcohol. Don't use too much alcohol because then it will go in the screen and you have a bad screen. So the flex is disassembled. Now I will look where the IC is. It's on the left side. So this metal plate needs to be removed. Here we have the cutters. Be careful that you don't ruin the capacitors and the resistors, because you will need to replace them then. So just take your time. Now the metal shield is removed, and it looks like the board's torn up. It also is, but these are all ground, so it doesn't matter that the pads are away. Only look that the pads don't touch other capacitors, because this is ground and it touches the line, it makes a short. Let's use a sticker. So what look, this can make a short, so we do it back down. And then here we have the serialized IC. Now this is the good screen, so we're gonna pull off this one. If you would like, you could use some Kapton tape surrounding this heat resistance tape, so the screen has a lower chance of damaging. But if you're fast enough, this isn't needed. So this IC we can throw away. Now first I will clean the pads or remove the tin. For this we're gonna add a little bit of flux. And then we're gonna mix it with some low melt solder tin. We take the low melt solder tin and we mix it with the original tin from Apple. We do this so we don't have to heat the screen up that much, so there is less chance of damaging the new screen. So now everything is covered with low melt solder tin. Now we can remove the tin with some solder wick. And I don't put any pressure, you just want the wick to absorb the tin. Because if you push too hard, you're gonna damage the board. And then you can take new screen. It's pretty expensive, so you don't want to do that. Now the screen is free of tin. I'm gonna clean it with a Q-tip and some alcohol. Gonna already add some flux. Don't too much because the chip's gonna swim away. So I like to call it. The new screen is ready for the new chip. So we're gonna reball the original IC. First we're gonna remove the tin of the IC. Also do this with some solder wick. And same with the screen, don't push too hard. You can push a little bit, but if you push too hard you damage the chip and the screen can't be repaired anymore. Now we're gonna reball the chip. For reballing the chip, we're gonna put some toilet paper under the IC and then put the stencil on it, put some solder paste on it and reball it. Well, I don't have the right stencil for this IC, but we have a lot of other stencils, so probably one of them will fit. We're gonna take a look. This is the right stencil, as you can see. Sometimes the solder paste, there is a lot of flux in the paste when it's brand new. If there's too much flux, it's too liquid, too much liquid, and then the solder paste will go under the stencil and the balls won't be even. So to fix this problem, so there is less flux in the solder paste, we take the toilet paper and we press the solder paste on the toilet paper until it looks a little bit more dry. And I can't remember if I told you, but we're gonna solder it with low melt solder tin because we want to have less risk of heating the screen. So we won't have to use more heat. I'm just gonna put the paste on. I'm gonna hold it with a tweezer. Reballing I'm doing on 200 degrees. And the degrees I'm talking about is Celsius. Now the IC is reballed. Gonna lift the stencil, remove the excess solder tin, and once again we're gonna reflow the IC. Now you can see all the balls are even. And now we're gonna put away the IC. And we're gonna take the new screen we just prepared. And the only thing, the IC can only be placed in one way. There's always a dot on the IC. Normally you can look in the schematic, there's a small marking or the A1 pad or pad 1. It's always the place where the dot needs to be. But of this screen there's no schematic, so you need to remember where the dot is. I can't remember this. I will look back the footage and then be right back. I've looked back the footage and the dot needs to be in the left bottom corner. So I'm gonna turn around the IC. Now we're gonna heat the IC until it's melting, and we know it's melted when we push the chip and the chip goes back on its own. As you can see, the IC almost flew away. That's because it's too much heat in one time. So then you're gonna place your heat a little bit further. Now we push to the chip and it goes back to its place, so we know it's melted. I'm gonna clean a little bit. Now gonna test the screen. Tested the screen and I don't have any image, so I think the other IC needs to be transplanted also. But it's no problem for us. On the new screen we're gonna pull off this one, we can throw away. We're gonna mix it with the low melt solder paste or a low melt solder tin. Paste could also be working, but the only risk with the paste is when you put it on the screen, it goes to the other capacitors. Those will be also low melting. You could blow them away. So this mix, we're gonna take some solder wick. Now we can clean it with a Q-tip and some alcohol. And add some flux. We're gonna take the original chip. And we need to remember the dot is left upper corner. To damage the IC, this is very fragile because it's a glass IC. Now we're gonna take the solder wick. Clean it with alcohol. Now we can reball it. Same thing for this one. I don't have a stencil, so we need to look which one fits. And this one fits. Now reballing again on 200 degrees Celsius. I'm gonna reflow it. And we can put it on the new screen. Now we're gonna solder it on. Give it a little push, it goes back. And now we know it's melted. So now I'm gonna test it again. So I'm gonna plug in the charger. And I'm gonna reball the bigger IC one more time. Maybe it isn't reballed good. And I can see the problem. Look, here it didn't melt enough. So the solder tin didn't bond to the board. I'm gonna try to just put it back like this. If it ain't working, we're gonna reball it. Put it as straight as possible. I'm gonna try to blow more to the right side. Now it should be good. We're gonna check it out. Yes, and now I have image. So the chip didn't bond good enough with the screen. It didn't heat it enough to the right side. So now we can test if the lines are straight or not. Here are the old lines. And they're still not straight. I think. Alright, look. They are straight. My hand isn't steady. Look, now we have straight lines. So the repair is finished. I'm gonna assemble it and it can go back to the customer. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.